They said it was impossible. They said,
you can't put together the most elite team of comic book reviewers on the planet and do, a podcast or something like that?
Despite all that, today we can proudly announce. Yeah, they were right. We couldn't do it. So instead, we brought you the most vile, ignorant, unprofessional group of comic book enthusiasts we could find. This is Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic podcast.
That's right, so quickly. Immediately, we're back again for the continuation of House of X, Powers of X. But before we get into all that, even though you probably just heard it because you just came and listened, you probably just strolled right into this episode after listening to the House of X number 4, you'll hear it once again, and maybe you'll actually follow it. If you want to listen to other stuff we have, you can go to GameRageMagazine.com and you can hear all of the full menu of content that we have, the full unfiltered menu. Also, I forgot to say it on the last podcast, but I'll say it again. June 19th, brand new episode of the Without Censor podcast with a world-renowned, best-selling, highly rated musical talent artist, aka BK. They gave us the honor and privilege of being their first interview. And my God, I think we may have ruined interviews for them going forward because there's no one else that's going to live up to this interview that we did with them. They're going to screwed. All interviews screwed. Any interviewer screwed. So if you want to hear the best interview of our generation, listen to the Without Censor podcast on June 19th.
I just want to say that the music makes me get in a cocaine-riddled aura, very much like Macho Man Randy Savage. I get that pumped listening to the theme song for the Powers of X, Panel to Panel theme song. What a fucking song.
It is.
Makes my dick hard.
I'm currently hard as we speak.
I might do this whole episode erect.
I think we should. Maybe we should sword fight afterwards. I don't know.
Pride Month.
Panel to Panel. Your home for intergalactic homosexual nonsense.
Pride Month.
Only during Pride Month.
Pride Month.
Yes. Pride Month.
All right, let's go.
Anyways, all right, here we go. Powers of X, number 4.
Yeah, man. So we're working our way away from House of X number 4. We just saw everybody fucking die, dude.
Everyone died, and guess what? Now everybody's faces are on this fucking cover. There's old Wolverine, just watched his ass die. We got Old Man Beast, Old Man Magneto, Old Man. I guess this is Old Man fucking Sabretooth. We got
Nightcrawler, Cyclops,
the Cuckoos, and
Rasputin.
Yeah, man. Everybody.
Cypher, Iceman. Man, we got fucking everybody. Angel.
Yeah, everybody's on this fucking cover.
I miss Zorn, dude. I miss Zorn when he fucking exploded.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. Turned into a singularity.
The sweet embrace of death, dude.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
I wish they had a Zorn solo issue, man. Solo issues, man. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So we start off as we always do with the little quote here. It says, "I fear our needs will far outlast our desires. We have many hard choices ahead of us."
Of course they do. Especially after House of X number 4, where we just saw all the main characters fucking die. They should just call it Everybody Dies the fucking...
the comic book. Everybody Dies the comic.
Yeah.
And so we open up on a luxury castle somewhere in the world as it's X to the zeroth.
X to the zeroth, year 1.
Year 1. And it says Bar Sinister. We see what appears to be Charles and Magneto and someone else saying, "Halt, strangers." And it is indeed Charles and Magneto. And this individual saying, state your business, but please, God, don't ask for help or a handout because while, yes, we have much, we really can't be bothered with the sad problems of sad people. And oh, look, you're wearing a cape. How perfect. I'm guessing you don't have an appointment because who wears that having the other? So no one with an appointment would fucking be wearing a cape. So it goes to Charles and he says, we do not have an appointment, but it's important that we see Nathaniel Essex.
Mr. Sinister himself.
The old man bastard himself, Mr. Sinister.
Real son of a bitch.
And as this asshole who's greeting them takes off his helmet, looking basically just like a carbon copy of Mr. Sinister, he says, which one? There are so many of us. We'll settle for the one in charge, Magneto goes. And so he says, the one in charge. Well, aren't you something? Yes, this outfit's ridiculous, but you do have an air about you. There's no denying that. Your friend, however, this just will not do. It will not play well at court. A sad little man in his sad peasant suit, stuck in his sad little Chet. And then Magneto just fucking wrecks this dude against the wall. And Charles is like, yo, Eric, hey, we need this guy.
My favorite part is that Magneto's cape in the third panel in the set of that go in a row is that Magneto's cape is just majestically flying.
Yeah.
To demonstrate how badass he is, only in comic books.
Yeah, Magneto's cape is essentially a standalone character in this series because Magneto's cape does so much for the storytelling. It's like an emotion almost. So then it goes to Magneto just fucking purple-eyed, blacked out. No, Charles, this man needs to decide if he wants to escort it inside or if he wants to continue thusly and suffer the consequences.
Yeah, this is the best panel, I think, on this page. To have like the magnetism displayed in these little
purple lines
with aura around it.
Maybe.
And then you see the sinister nature. Well, I don't even know if you call it sinister, but I guess you could say menacing nature of Eric Lenzier. And he's got these glowing pink eyes and you don't know what the fuck is going on in that motherfucker's head, but you know he ain't playing around.
Oh, he is definitely not fucking around today. So then it literally shows them two in front of all these people at this quote unquote court. And it says 2 minutes later. Clearly this guy was like, oh shit, we got to get this going. So the dude who they were fucking with says, Mr. Sinister, I present to you the mutants Magneto and Professor Charles Xavier. Hello, thank you for seeing us. We've come to, and here's old Mr. Sinister sitting on his fucking throne of, I don't know, fucking animal pelts or whatever this fuck it is.
Whatever the fuck. I mean, and notice that all the people are just deviations of the same person. It's all Mr. Sinister, but in different
various forms, I guess. Various costumes as well. He says, stop. Before either of you says another word, I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I love that cape.
It's so fabulous.
Amazing. How come I don't have a cape? Where's my cape at? And then his like butler Sinister's like, I believe it. In my head, this is how it played out when I initially read was, yes, it is a crime, sir, an outrage. Honestly, I've thought you should always have had one. And he says, well, if you really thought that, why didn't you say something? And
fucking
then the
bootlicker.
The butler's like, it seems to have slipped my mind, sir. And he says, execute this man. And they thusly do chop the butler up and he's executed.
It's just him though.
Yeah. And he's like, now, how can I help you? And so Charles goes on to say, actually, it's our hope that we can help one another. As we're aware of your ongoing endeavors in the areas of genetics, Mr. Sinister, and how would you know about that, Charles? Oh, we have our ways. Well, honestly, I'm not surprised word is getting out. I do amazing work.
Dude, fucking Mr. Sinister is so zesty.
He is, man. He is the zestiest fucking character.
Thank God it's fucking Pride Month,
Yeah,
dude, because
dude,
it's like, this is so appropriate.
He is literally snapping in a Z formation right now
yeah.
as he's saying this. I fucking love it. Mr. Zesty Sinister himself. We also know about the library you're building, as Magneto jumps in and says, your attempt at cataloging the world's DNA. And he says, and Sinister says, oh, don't judge me. I can't be shamed into changing who I am. So Professor X says, well, we don't want you to. We're suggesting is a slight deviation of focus. Continue with your indexing if you want, but we need you to prioritize making a comprehensive database of all mutant DNA. Safe, secure, redundant. We can give you all the samples you might have trouble getting on your own, including ours. So then Sinister says, well, as I'm sure even a serf would comprehend, the point of one collecting is found in the value of one's collection. So explain to me why I would take such a special interest in this mutant gene. And Magneto says, I have seen the future, and this cause, mutantdom, is yours. Sinister replies with, no, I think not. I've played around with introducing that aberrant gene into my superior genetic structure, and let me tell you, I didn't like the results, and I won't tolerate any such. And then a gunshot noise, and clearly it appears as though Sinister has been shot in the fucking face as he's flying off screen with the blood fucking coming out.
Yeah.
And it says, and another Sinister jumps up and says, but I will.
With the fucking cape.
It's a cape-laden Sinister with a fucking Glock. And he rolls up and says, it's me, the Sinister with the mutant gene. And if you must know, my mutant power is overthrowing tyrants and being absolutely fabulous. Oh, so spicy, so zesty. And Magneto's got a smile on his face and he says, I can see that. And so then caped Sinister sits in the chair and says, so we're in this together. I love the ambition. I love every bit of it. So tell me, partners, what's next for our sinful secret confederacy? So good.
Dude, he sounds like a southern, like, Gentile, like a zesty southern Gentile, dude.
He's like, oh, I do declare, Mr. Magneto, you have given me a case of the vapors.
Dude, I swear to God, if the mutant future depended on Misters, I would have not fucking go through all this goddamn trouble to fucking bother with this motherfucker, because this is too much, dude.
It is too much. And I would like to say, if they ever animate this into a series, I would volunteer in a heartbeat to be Mr. Sinister, because I think I could fucking play that excellently.
Yeah, there hasn't really been too much. Well, I don't want to say there hasn't been too much comedic element, because I guess Nimrod has been that.
Oh, true, yeah.
But he's taken Mr. Sinister only having been in one issue for both comics, dude. I mean, what an uproar. What a way to upstage all the other villains that have been introduced in this fucking series.
Yeah,
dude.
Absolutely. And so then Charles goes into fucking Professor fucking X mode and starts talking to him through his brain fucking communicator and says, first you need to begin the good work, and then I need you to forget why you're doing it and that we were ever here until the day I tell you to remember.
Making him a sleeper agent.
And then we get another little image here with a red diamond and a little line and a question mark, it looks like, but something in probably Krakoan. It says, the red diamond, all the best news and gossip from Bar Sinister. Sinister secret number 1. He's trying to pretend that no one noticed he was wearing red shoes, but this truly Sinister isn't fooling anyone. Sinister secret number 2. And speaking of fashion, the Whisper Network has turned into a roar regarding the return of this trend-setting mutant who was cut down in his prime. Will someone please tell all these mutants to stop wearing human clothes and join the stampede across their island full of flowers to the flower that's the fullest? Sinister secret number 3. Man, I feel like I should be doing this in 1930s radio guy's voice. Years ago, a deceased redheaded pretender made a pact with the devil. When she passed on, most believed that any secrets she had went with came to her with the grave. Won't everyone be surprised when they find out not only is this not true, but she left behind a whole lot more than secrets. Sinister secret number 4. While every Sinister has been busy wondering how they might be affected by current events, almost no one noticed what washed ashore. A word of advice to all things Sinister. Don't embrace the revelry or there won't be anything for you to celebrate. Sinister secrets revealed. Certain people are wondering where the tyrant dispelling Sinister got his mutant gene. And while that really isn't an interesting story, whom the DNA originally belonged to is.
I do want to mention that even though this is not technically relevant to the comic itself, there actually is a Bar Sinister that exists here in Southern California.
Is it themed? Is it?
I wish it was. I wish it was themed around Mr. Sinister, but it's not. It's around BDSM and other debauchery.
Oh, sweet.
Not that I would ever go,
Not
but
that Adam would ever know anything about that.
well, anyways, if y'all are into that shit, you can go ahead and look that up on Game Rage.
Hey, just don't forget, for hot local women and men, go to GameRageMagazine.com.
For hot locals in your area, go to GameRageMagazine.com.
GameRageMagazine.com.
If you want to get scanned by a Nigerian prince, you go to GameRageMagazine.com.
Absolutely. And so then we get Sinister Secret number 5. He's the best there is at what he does. She's married with a kid. The husband knows exactly what's going on, but who is he to point the finger? He's up to much the same and more. Maybe this is just the new normal on the mutant island. Sinister Secret number 6. Everyone believed that the plan of this Progerian mutant with secret sinister ties was foiled, but little did the gifted ones know that the destroyed samples were switched out beforehand. Sinister Secret number 7. 2 brothers jumped out of a plane, and for the longest time, until he was discovered, many wondered if there was a third. If we told you there were more, would you believe me? Probably not. Sinister Secret number 8. For years, the fittest of all mutants has routinely surrounded himself with a particular numbered entourage. These hangers-on stick around for a while until they are eventually replaced with newer, more exciting members. What most people don't know is that if the original members returned, these pretenders would be dropped so fast their heads would spin.
Yeah,
Talking about Apocalypse, obviously.
Yeah, there's I think a lot of these secrets are alluding to a lot of things that have happened in the past with the X-Men and all, fun little tidbits, I suppose.
Yeah. Sinister Secret number 9. They say the kids are all right, but all is not right in paradise. This couple has been apart so long, friends are expecting that when they see each other again, fireworks are going to ensue. Is the universe ready? Judging by how unprepared everyone was for what's happened so far, we kind of doubt it. Sinister Secrets revealed. We don't hear this word spoken often, so when we do, it's best to pay attention, because when you square that circle, what took a long time to build can come crumbling down rather quickly. Then it says Inferno in brackets. And then Sinister Secret number 10. Which brainwashed mutant Sinister was replaced long before a certain bald somebody knew and has been in on the game for almost as long as the game was being played? Shh. And then we get the little red diamond logo. And then we go X to the first. X-Men months ago. And we see this looks to be on Krakoa.
With the Krakoan greenery.
Yep.
In the background.
And the dope-ass SR-71 Blackbird fucking X-Men ship.
The classic ship.
Classic. I'm not going to lie, Professor. I wish you told me we were taking a vacation. I would have packed a bathing suit and probably some sunscreen. Oh, that the world would allow those like you and me some respite from the toils of everyday life, Douglas. I'm sorry to say, this is not a vacation. This is Krakoa, and fucking you got the professor wearing this like British fucking.
You gotta be kidding me, dude. Yeah, what an asshole! Like,
what a fucking asshole!
I say that, and then Magneto obviously has the cape, and
yeah, true.
But it just feels like a Jurassic Park type of Oh, welcome to Jurassic Park.
We spared no expense. Like,
we spared no expense.
Yeah, and he's literally got the fucking like the thigh fucking
the
chaps puffed up thighs, and then the stupid fucking hard hat. He looks like a British explorer during World War I. Like that era, right?
Yeah, dude, what an asshole.
Asshole.
We went from that to the like skin tight suit. Xavier on full display, just flamboyant as fuck. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. So, cool. The secret island where mutants come to die. Fantastic. Excellent choice, sir. And then Charles says, is it wrong to expect more than sarcasm from someone whose mutant power is understanding and deciphering the nuances of any language? And so he's like, oh, yeah. Sorry. It's quite all right. The days of Krakoa being our adversary are long past. It took some effort to understand the island, but eventually I was able to telepathically make a connection. From there, the relationship between mutant island and mutant man has grown. Come on, I want the two of you to meet. And so they're digging deeper into the forest. And he says, here we are. And we see this giant head of Krakoa, which appears to be the, sentientness of Krakoa. Say hello, Douglas. Oh, hi there, big fella. And then it's, says some shit in
Krakoan gibberish.
He says, whoa, okay, no fricatives, which makes sense, but the layering is dense, more than I would normally expect. I'm picking it up, but I need more. Ask him something else. How's he feeling or whatever? How are we feeling today, my friend? And then it says something, a couple other things, and he says he's sad. Let me guess, the telepathic conversation you're having is a lot closer to empathetic than actual language, right? I mean, yeah, you're talking, but not at a complex, nuanced level. Xavier, friend, island, friend, friends, happy, friends, many years, that kind of thing, right? He says, are you saying Krakoa isn't sad? No, he's definitely unhappy. It's just a bit more complicated, deeper than that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that Cypher, he's breaking down how he uses his power in order to understand it and cipher what somebody you're saying or what is being conveyed, which is like, I don't know. It's really interesting to me.
Yeah. So he says, I'm sure I've missed some of it, but we were Okara, the one land, ancient before that word existed, but not yet old in the way that they were old. The twilight sword of the enemy tore the world asunder, and what was one became two. And then we see this like sword popping up out of this rock with this like black fucking lightning and shit. Arakko and Krakoa. And from the chasm between them, from whatever wicked place they came, the enemy poured into this world. And it looks like a bunch of demons and shit.
Yeah.
And it basically turns out it's Apocalypse. It says, if not for the man who was not a man, the first mutant, the warrior god in blue, the world would have fallen. And so it shows him fighting off all these demons and shit or whatever the fuck this is. And you see the little, what appear to be the four horsemen. It says, but using all his mighty powers, he stood in the gap, pushed Arakko through the chasm, set his four to sentinel that land, and sealed the chasm shut, never to be opened again, referring to the things that Sinister was saying about the four original horsemen, essentially.
Yeah, so there was a land that was once one piece, Arakko being where the four horsemen eventually end up, and like, I don't even know what the hell they are, but let's say that there's an ancient mutant race that exists on Arakko that they haven't been in touch with and then Krakoa was the thing that ended up on
Earth.
Yeah.
It was a thing that had to happen, it was, but Krakoa remains alone, a half not whole, for now and forever. Or something like that. Fucking Cypher says. Then later, man, it sure is beautiful here. I'm glad you like it, the professor says. I was hoping that you wouldn't mind spending some time here on your own. Professor X has plans. I'm interested. It's better if I show you. Okay, so he shows him, and he's just like, oh, shit. Well, that's ambitious. What worth doing isn't. How long will it take? Phonology, syntax. I'll have to build an interface. The ecosystem is an unknown, so that'll be tricky. I don't know, months, maybe a year if I'm terrible at this. How's that sound? Looks like you've got a bit of work ahead of you, young man. Best get to it. So he tosses him a fucking duffel bag and just like, all right, see you, bitch. And it's just fucking pieces out.
Yeah, what a task to be had to basically decode or understand or create an entire language on the spot for a species or a living island that he has to get to know in order for everybody to eventually come to this island and fucking live on it. Yeah. But it's also a living thing, so it's also going to be their base of operations, their headquarters, and it's like their communications, their means of communication is going to be done through this fucking island, which is, I don't know, man. This is the level of abstract thinking, the big brain shit of Jonathan Hickman, and then also all the fun stuff about language, dude. Syntax, phonology. I mean, fucking A, dude. Yeah.
All kinds of crazy shit. And so we got current Krakoan systems. We have Krakoa, interface built by Douglas Ramsey Cypher, a translation program so that the other mutants can interact with the island without needing Cypher to act as a go-between. And then it shows the transit monitoring, transit/monitoring is Sage, and then defense/observation is Black Tom Cassidy. Secondary/external system is Trinary, and Overwatch/data analysis is Beast. And then it says, a note here, while there has been no actual evidence of a Krakoan skunkworks existing, there are rumors of a massive subterranean laboratory where Forge is busy building biological machines that could possibly be used to manage a mutant expansion on the island.
The thing that's kind of interesting is that, I don't know, I forget what that structure is called. Is it the Tree of Sephiroth?
Yeah.
That has all that crazy shit on it. Is this kind of, and there's biblical elements that's kind of scattered throughout this thing. And I feel like Jonathan Hickman's kind of tapping into, I think the Torah, or I don't know where the tree of Sephiroth is actually available, but definitely there's biblical themes that are being placed in here.
Yeah, they're happening. So then we got X to the third, the X-Men Year 1000, and we show this fucking blue guy, one of these blue guys or whatever again. I am the first of elders, and this my seer self. We are ready for conversion. We hope for ascension.
The phalanx.
Yep, we phalanx care little for hope. Will you ascend? And he says, we have to try, don't we? Isn't that what's next? The idea of your great union existing just beyond our reach is something we cannot tolerate. Do it. So then the phalanx reaches out, fucking grabs the orb, starts fucking phalanxing it, and it basically disintegrates it. And then he says, well, am I in there anywhere? Anywhere. Therein we phalanx am. If so, then you'll know the sequence as I know the sequence. And between us, we, the only two. And then it's just like standing there staring at him. And then it just says, there was a city on the mountain, and behind it the sun shone brightly, and then too brightly as it expanded to consume the city, the mountain, the world. And then the little blue guy says, oh, so it worked.
Show us what you got.
Yeah, show us what you've got.
That's basically what it comes down to. Is like the phalanx, like, are you worthy of ascension? Show us what you got.
Yeah. And he says, yes, it worked. The question remains, yes, do you find this form, this conversion acceptable? And then the phalanx splits into like two pieces and then, I don't know, opens into some kind of a portal. And then it says, await response, await answer. And it says, I don't understand what just happened. And so this other blue person's like, the phalanx are the forerunners of a galactic empire that we believe has dominion over the entirety of the known universe. Of course, empire isn't accurate, as we believe that neither their actions nor desires are in any way imperial. It's just the only word that conveys the scale of what we're talking about. What do they want? It's not what they want. It's what they do. The phalanx have the ability to integrate any machine intelligence into their collective, which after a period of time, if that intelligence is found useful, worthy, it will eventually ascend and be part of the greater collective, subsumed into the empire. Clearly, we know they find us useful, which should be celebrated. But here you are, not celebrating at all, not one bit.
You know what's crazy is that the X-Men are doing that in some way, that they're trying to become like one, because we got a little taste of it with Xavier using everybody's ability, but also being in communication with each other telepathically, with the whole thing that happened with the Orchis headquarters. Like they're all trying to go under one banner, like the mutant banner, and be in unison. And then also creating like this whole island. Everybody understands Krakoan. Like they're doing like a fraction of what the phalanx are doing.
Yeah, but they're trying to do it just for mutants, basically, exclusively. So they say everything always comes down to a question of cost, doesn't it? The problem is that this method doesn't work with biological entities. So the Elder made a host machine, an empty vessel, and copied himself over to it before the phalanx absorbed it. We just confirmed that he was in there somewhere. Foreboding, isn't it, librarian? That they want us and not you. So you're trying to trick them? No, we don't think there's any tricking them. We just hope we found a way around the problem. Now we wait to see if they find it acceptable. And then it shows the phalanx as an orb, like fucking just chilling there. And then we get another end quote. I'm not afraid of what I've done, but I do fear what it will one day cost, Professor X. And then that is the end of the issue. So this one leaving us on a bit of a fucking cliffhanger.
Yeah. We got the beginning. So I don't know if that's disjointing to anybody that's reading or looking into reading this shit, is that there are, I don't want to say there's excessive time jumps, but I think Jonathan Hickman and obviously the artist, RB Silva, I think they do a good enough job to demonstrate, especially with the boxes that say what power or what timeline is happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jumping around, but I think it's digestible enough that it doesn't feel like too much, but all the information that you're being thrown at you shit, man. It's a lot, but I mean, fuck, it's entertaining as fuck, dude. I mean, even Cypher breaking down like all the language stuff, man, with getting in touch with Krakoa and then also getting in communication with the living island and then giving the lore of the fucking island itself and knowing that it has another half of like an entirely other group of people that were ancient mutants that are part of that. And then we have the X-Men who are like the modern incarnations of man. It's just so much, dude. It's like, but it's enjoyable. Like nonetheless, it's enjoyable.
Yeah. There's a shit ton of layers to this shit too. Like, I mean, the multiple timelines that are going on, not only linearly, but abstractly, because they're also multiple timelines that are fucking taking place here. It's fucking crazy. It's multiple points in past, present, and future, but also multiple timelines within that past, present, and future. And so, I mean, I'd like to see who these original fucking 4 horsemen are or whatever. Maybe that's going to make an appearance in this at some point. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. But maybe that's the ultimate end goal, as it's seeming, is potentially how they save mutantdom is to remerge the two, or Krakoa, back into one thing, Araka and Krakoa, merging them back together. I feel like that's going to be like the end game, but I don't know. We'll see. So anyways, fucking A, you got anything else for this one?
No, I can't believe we're approaching the end of the next 4 issues are going to be pretty much the end of this thing. But I mean, it's cool because just revisiting this stuff is a lot of fun, and it further demonstrates why I love the X-Men so much. So it's been a lot of fun to do this thing.
And yeah, it has. And you know, we've got another 4 episodes left, basically 2 weeks worth of episodes for panel to panel for this specific thing with House of X / Powers of X. And as soon as we're done with that, we're going to be getting into Daredevil, right?
Yeah. And
we're going to be reading some Daredevil. And I don't know, that's probably going to be, I don't know how long the issues are, but the books are, but
oh man, I don't know how that one's going to work out. I've been trying to think about like if we should just we should alternate between Immortal Hulk. Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Because then that way,
one issue a week of each one.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I'm down for that, because I don't want to necessarily wait until we're done with Daredevil to start reading Immortal Hulk, because I really want to read that one too. So
yeah,
I think we should do that. I think you should do, because we were doing two issues a week. I think we should do 1 issue of Daredevil and then 1 issue of Immortal Hulk every week. So I think so that's how it's going to go down. So fuck yeah. So stay tuned for that in the future. That'll be cool. But anyways, if you want to listen to our other shit, GameRageMagazine.com, at Game Rage Magazine on Instagram / TikTok, at Game Rage Mag on Twitter / X, at Game Rage Magazine on YouTube. And also June 19th, 619. Stay hot for the Without Censor interview, the release, the official exclusive release of the AKA BK interview. It's going to be great.
Show us what you got.
I love that cape.
That was Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic book podcast. Thanks for listening. If you want to know more and follow along, go to Instagram and TikTok. Follow at Game Rage Magazine. If you want to follow on Twitter / X, at Game Rage Mag. Tune in next time.